Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Today we are going to learn how to multiply numbers with exponents together. At this point you should understand what exponents are and how to simplify those. So if I have 4 to the power of 2, you should know that that's the same thing as 4 times 4, which is 16. If that part is new to you, go check out our previous video, How to Simplify Exponents. It'll be linked in the description below. So let's get started with multiplying numbers with exponents. For part A, we have 4 to the power of 2 times 4 to the power of 3. Now you should already know that 4 in this case is the base, and 2 and 3 in this case are the exponents. Whenever you are multiplying numbers with the same base, you can add the exponents. So what this looks like is the base remains unchanged, which is 4, but now you add the exponents together, giving you 2 plus 3, which is 4 to the power of 5. Now this problem tells us to write your answer in exponent form, so we will leave it as 4 to the power 5. In some cases, they will ask you to expand, which would tell you to write it as 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, and then you would simplify that by multiplying all of it together. The way I like to do it is to do multi-tiers, bringing the 4 down. So now we have 16 times 4, and that would give you 1024. But again, the problem asks us to write it in exponent form, so we will leave our answer as 4 to the power of 5. Let's take a look at part B. We have 5 to the power of 6 times 5 to the power of 3. Again, the bases match, so we don't have to do any work, and we add the exponents. So the base stays 5, 6 plus 3 in the exponents gives us 5 to the power of 9. Okay, let's look at part C. Here we have 7 to the power of 3 times 6 to the power of 1 times 7 to the power of 2. Notice one of these bases doesn't match. Since all of these are multiplied together, you can reorder them in any way that makes sense. So let's pull the 6 out front and rewrite this as 6 to power 1 times 7 to power 3 times 7 to power 2. Okay, for the time being, let's just ignore 6 over 1 and focus on the 7s. So when we simplify this, we have 7 to power 3 times 7 to power 2. Notice the bases match, so we have 7 adding the exponents to the power of 5. Okay, now we need to reincorporate the 6 to power 1. As you know, anything to power 1 is just itself, so our final answer is going to be 6, you can drop the power 1, times 7 to the power of 5. And this is our answer in exponent form. Let's look at part D, and we'll see some extra steps on top of this. Okay, part D is going to be one of our more challenging examples. To approach part D, you're going to have to understand how to rewrite numbers in exponent form. So let's start by just looking at 8 to power 1. 8 to power 1 is the same thing as 8 because any number to power 1 is simply itself. We can also rewrite 8 in exponent form. To do that, we can talk about factoring. So we know that 8 is the same thing as 4 times 2. Okay, we can also rewrite that 4 as 2 times 2. So we could ultimately rewrite 8 as 2 times 2 times 2. I think we can all agree on that. Now we know that 2 times 2 times 2 is the same thing as 2 to power 3 in exponent form. So you may see already how it's very useful to rewrite some numbers in different bases with exponents because that'll help us simplify further problems. Okay, now let's look at 4 to power 2. This is the hardest part. We'll do that in orange. we have 4 to power 2. Okay, let's just ignore the exponent for now. We'll keep writing it, but don't stress about it. So let's look at the base of 4. Like in the previous example, 4 can be rewritten as 2 times 2. And then we'll rewrite the exponent on the outside as the 2. Okay, now we can simplify the inside of the parentheses, 2 times 2, as 2 to the power of 2, and then rewriting the exponent squared. Okay, if this is a new example or a new problem for you, check out one of our other videos on how to simplify exponents in parentheses. What you will learn in that video is that whenever you have exponents inside and outside of parentheses, you multiply them together. So here we have a base of 2 raised to an exponent of 2, all outside of a parentheses with another exponent of 2. This can be rewritten as 2 multiplying your exponents together, 4. Awesome. Now we've written all 3 of our numbers in part D as a base of 2. So rewriting, we have 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 3. Now this yellow one originally started as 8 to the power of 1. And we have 2 to the power of 4. This looks like all of our previous problems, so we can simplify. The base remains unchanged. Adding the exponents together, 3 plus 3 plus 4 gives you 10. So the answer for part D is 2 to the power of 10. Okay, let's try one more just like part D. With part E, we have 3 to power 2, 4 to power 3, 8 to power 2, and 9, which is the same thing as 9 to power 1. Let's break these down and try and get them in matching bases. 3 to power 2 is as low as it can go. There's no way to break that down. Let's take a look at 9. We know that 9 is the same thing as 3 times 3, which is the same thing as 3 squared. So there we go. That's helpful. All right, now let's look at 4 to power 3. Like in the previous problem, we'll write it out. Now let's break down the base. 4 is the same thing as 2 times 2. We have to rewrite the parentheses and the exponent on the outside. 2 times 2 in the middle will give us 2 squared in the middle, and the parentheses and the exponent remains unchanged. And hopefully you remember that in this case, whenever you have parentheses or exponents inside and outside of the parentheses, you multiply them together. So this simplifies to the same base of 2, but the exponents 2 times 3 are multiplied together, giving us 2 to the power of 6. Okay, and now let's look at 8 to power 2. If you want, go ahead and pause this video and try to simplify this one part on your own. Okay, for the solution, we have 8 squared, which we can break down as 2 times 4, all to the power of 2, which we can break down again into 2 times 2 times 2, all to the power of 2. We can rewrite the middle piece of 2, 2, 2 as 2 to the power of 3. And now we have to write in the parentheses with the exponent of 2 on the outside. And just like the previous part, we can multiply the exponents together, giving us a 2 to the power of 6 for the orange section. All right, now let's write it out. I'm going to slightly reorganize this to make sure that the appropriate parts are grouped. So in white, we have 3 to the power of 2 times the red 3 to the power of 2 times the yellow 2 to the power of 6 times the orange 2 to the power of 6. Now we can simplify this. The first part is going to be a base of 3. Adding the 2 and 2 together is going to be 3 to the power 4 times the second part, base 2, adding the 6 and the 6 gives us power of 12. There's no way we can simplify this further, and it tells us to write it in exponent form. So 3 to the power of 4 times 2 to the power of 12 is our final answer. Awesome. If you understand how to do this, you can handle any multiplication with exponents in the future. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching.